As you may have seen, we announced earlier today, I think the biggest news that we've had, at least in a couple of weeks, we have the federal designation, disaster designation was made. President Trump made that earlier tonight, which means this is the first step in really unlocking federal assistance through FEMA that our community so badly needs. As I've said in the past, our city, no city can shoulder the burden of a natural disaster the size of the tornado that hit us on May 16th alone. It is absolutely impossible to do that without the assistance of FEMA. And so we are so grateful to our governor for submitting the request, our senators, both Josh Hawley and Eric Schmidt, for having our back and pushing this forward, and Congressman Bell. We know that it takes a concerted effort, especially in the political climate in which we are in right now, to make this designation possible, and we're very, very grateful for the support. And frankly, we couldn't have done it without a coordinated approach here. Right now, what we know is just this is the first step, and so the details are going to be forthcoming. We don't have them right now. We know that that there are several waves here. We have unlocked essentially the first step of individual assistance. Following that, there'll be a public assistance component. We're looking at making a request to the Army Corps of Engineers and a whole host of other things. But this was a critical first step, an important first step, and a successful first step. And so here we are. We're very grateful to be here.
The process to apply for FEMA is not the most straightforward in the world, and FEMA doesn't have as many employees as they did as when Biden was president. Did you expect the city government's going to have to provide an educational campaign of what they're going to have to do to get this critical relief?
We do anticipate that we're going to play an active role. We're going to be required to play an active role, and we are positioning ourselves to be ready to play that active role. We've been anticipating that from the beginning and really trying to understand all the ways in which we need to collect information for that to be possible, and we're ready to do that work.
How do you feel about this development?
I do feel I feel great. Look, as I've said 100 times, we can't do this alone. No city can, nor should any city be forced to go at this alone. And this is a very first step in getting the federal assistance that we so badly need. I feel fantastic. I couldn't feel better. I know this is just a first step, and we have a long way to go, but this is a really important milestone, and I'm grateful we're here.
You say this is the first step, but what's the next step then?
As we kind of walk through this, that'll become more clear. As I mentioned, this is the unlocking of the beginning of the individual assistance. We have a public component. We also have the Army Corps of Engineers. There's a whole host of other things that we need to combine into our full ask here. But again, this was an important first step. Really glad we're here. I don't know exactly what the future looks like. I just know that this is moving us in the correct path. As I mentioned in the neighborhood meeting, this is my first FEMA ride, hopefully my last, but this is new to all of us. But of course, as we move through this, we've got some great partnership at the state and the federal level, and we're going to leverage them as we go.
What would you tell citizens that this new development means?
This means that we are moving in the right direction, that we have the attention of our president, that FEMA is paying attention, and that we are unlocking the first step of the federal assistance that our community depends on, needs, and this is an important first step moving forward. I don't think this is going to be a matter of a couple of days. This is a first tranche. I don't want to give false hope here. I want to make sure that people know that this is just a first step as we move forward. And this, as I mentioned earlier, as we recognize the FEMA staffing levels have gone down, we don't know exactly what this looks like, but it is an important first step in getting the aid that we need to our community.